What if I told you that two apparently innocent music discs in Minecraft contain a hidden message that has baffled players for over a decade? A message so cryptic, so on purpose buried in the game's code, that it points to something far more disturbing than a simple Easter egg. Today, we are diving deep into the terrifying mystery behind Music Disc 11 and 13, and what we found may change how you see Minecraft forever. This isn't just another theory, it's a breadcrumb trail leading to real-world coordinates, hidden messages, secret files, and a discovery that may have been on purpose planted by Mojang's original developers and left untouched for over a decade. Before we dive into this rabbit hole, I promise you this one goes deep. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe and grab your pickaxe, because we are about to mine into something far more dangerous than a bedrock. It all started, as most rabbit holes do, with a single post on Reddit. In late 2018, a user by the name of AudioMiner88 posted something on Minecraft Reddit that initially looked like your average creepypasta. The title was simple: Disc 11 and 13, there is something hidden in the noise. Most people scrolled past it, but those who clicked found themselves pulled into the theory that hasn't let go since. According to AudioMiner88, if you play music discs 11 and 13 at the exact same time, reverse both tracks, and run the resulting audio through a spectrogram, you get more than just distorted static. He claimed and provided proof that you would find coordinates hidden in the frequencies. People didn't believe him at first. Why would they? It sounded like another elaborated ARG or an internet hoax. But then he posted the image, a spectrogram with faint but visible numbers embedded into waveform. Those coordinates point to a real place, not just any place. They lead directly to Stockholm, Sweden, specifically to a building once used as Mojang's original headquarters. Coincidence? Maybe, but here's the thing that made people start paying attention. The post was deleted just 3 hours after it went up. The account, no history, nothing, but the screenshots survived and they spread. That's when others began to replicate that process. More users uploaded spectrograms, some saw patterns, some didn't, but the seed had been planted. People began to wonder, was this more than coincidence? Was this a hidden message? Discs 11 and 13 have always stood out in Minecraft's music library. While other tracks are calm, ambient, even beautiful, these two are broken. Disc 13 is eerie, scratchy, like an abandoned recording. Disc 11, it's almost unlistenable. A man breathing heavily, footsteps, static, fear, like someone running from something. And now people were suggesting they weren't just creepy by accident, that they were clues to a puzzle hidden in a plain sight, buried not in a world generation code, but in music itself. And that's when things started to spiral. I couldn't stop thinking about it. The idea that something, anything, could be buried inside Minecraft's audio files haunted me. I'm not an audio engineer, but I've worked with Audacity before. So one night around 2 AM, I loaded up both disc 11 and 13. I lined them up exactly, reversed them both, and started playing the audio at the same time. What I heard, I still think about it. It wasn't noise, chaotic, grating, but under that chaos something strange started to emerge. It was as if the two tracks were made to be played together, like they completed each other. At certain moments, there is slow rhythmic thump, like a heartbeat, then static, then what sounds like distorted whisper. No words, just shapes of syllables, like someone trying to speak from another world. But the real shock came when I ran the combined, reversed audio through a spectrogram, and I swear I didn't expect anything. I was doing it just to feel like part of my mystery. But there it was. At first, it looked like smudges, artifacts. But when I enhanced the contrast and zoomed in, I saw something clear as day. Under the tree, where the light never reaches. C418, Daniel Rosenfeld, the man who composed almost all of Minecraft's early music. Now listen, it could have been a prank, maybe some genius modder edited the track, slipped it in for fun, but the file I used was straight from Mojang, no mods. I double checked it, it was a pure. That message was not a fluke, but what did it mean? I went in search of the tree where the light never reaches. I explored every forest biome in Minecraft. The roofed forest, maybe. The deep dark, possibly. But none of it felt right. Then I realized something. What if the tree isn't in the game? Trees in Minecraft have a light level, but in a real life, where the light never reaches could mean anything. An underground vault, a server room, a hidden archive. And that phrase, under the tree, it sounded poetic, symbolic, like the kind of message you leave behind only if you expected someone to find it one day. Someone who knew where and how to look. It felt strange, honestly, like someone had been there not long ago. Not just hiding something, but leaving something behind, like a trail. And that phrase, under the tree, it just made it all feel real. At this point, I had more questions than answers. Why would C418 hide a message in two of the creepiest tracks in the game? Was he working alone, or did someone ask him to do it? That's when I started researching him, and what I found next made everything feel even stranger. C418, Daniel Rosenfeld, is a brilliant but mysterious composer. For years, fans have tried to decode his work, searching for deeper meanings in his minimalistic soundscapes. But after finding the message in the spectrogram, under the tree where the light never reaches, I started digging into old interviews, podcasts, tweets, anything. In one 2012 podcast, which hasn't been removed from most platforms, C418 made a strange comment while discussing Disc 11. He said, and I quote, "Notch told me to make one track that sounds like you're not supposed to hear it. Something forgotten, something buried. Buried." That word stuck with me, especially after what happened next. 3 months after Audio Miner 88 posted those original coordinates, another Reddit thread appeared. This one from a user called Swedish Digger. The post was simple. I went to the coordinates, something's here. Unlike the first thread, this one had pictures. Real life photos of the site just outside Stockholm. A patch of forest behind an industrial complex. Nothing special at first glance. But in the final image, buried just beneath the surface, was a waterproof plastic container. It looked like a geocache, but what was inside was way beyond anything people expected. Inside was a USB drive, no label, no branding, just a single word written in a marker. The post exploded and then disappeared. Within 6 hours, the thread was deleted, the user's account gone, as if it never existed, but the game screenshot survived. Several people managed to download the files before the thread vanished. They claimed the USB contained unreleased Minecraft alpha builds, versions of the game that predate public releases, versions that were never meant to be seen. Some of the content was expected, all textures, experimental terrain generation, scrapped mobs, but one discovery stood out: new music discs. 3 new tracks, disc 14, 15, and 16, all unnamed, all unplayable unless manually injected into the game files, and all deeply unsettling. Just like with 11 and 13, players began to reverse the tracks, combine them, and run them through spectrograms. And just like before, they found coordinates. This time the coordinates didn't lead to Sweden, they led to major cities around the globe, all places where Minecraft saw its biggest growth during 2010 and 2011. It was as if someone was tracking the game's viral spread in the real time and leaving breadcrumbs at each major milestone. Each set of coordinates pointed to a very specific location in each city, not just neighborhoods, but actual buildings, old gaming cafes, computer clubs, arcades. Some of them are still standing, others have been demolished, but the pattern was impossible to ignore. Was this some kind of global ARG or promotional stunt from a decade ago? Or was it something else? Here is where it gets really weird. One of the files recovered from the USB was a corrupted text file. Most of it was unreadable, but a few lines stood out. The only legible part said, Phase 1 complete, awaiting triggers. Observation nodes active. What did it mean? Who wrote it? And what exactly were these observation nodes? I printed out every coordinate we had from Stockholm, Tokyo, Berlin, London, LA, and placed them all on a giant world map on my wall. I was trying to see a pattern. At first it looked random, but then I layered the timeline of Minecraft's explosive growth between 2009 and 2013 over the same map. That's when it clicked. Each city aligned almost exactly with spikes in the player activity, search trends, and content uploads. Tokyo in 2011, Berlin in early 2012, London that same year, Los Angeles in mid-2013. These were not just cities, these were activation points, places where the Minecraft influence surged like a wave. And then I took it a step further. Using old forum threads, early YouTube video uploads, and several logs from private Minecraft communities, I traced which exact location within those cities were most responsible for early Minecraft culture, and what I found chilled me. Most of those places were digital access points, LAN cafes, school computer labs, and tech stores where the kids first discovered Minecraft. But these weren't just places where the game was played, they were documented. CCTVs, login data, usage logs. In many countries, cafes were required to track sessions for public terminals. It was as if someone had created a global net, a soft system of observation built around the organic growth of the game, which raised a terrifying question. Were these disks simply marking Minecraft's spread, or was someone tracking it on purpose? And if they were tracking the growth, why? That's when I stumbled across an old barely viewed video from 2012, only a few hundred views, an interview with C418 filmed at the small indie game expo. In the video, the interviewer casually asks, "Did Marcus give you a full freedom with the soundtrack?" And Daniel laughs. He says, "Nudge told me the music needed to carry a message. He said someday someone would need to find what we buried." The room laughed. Everyone thought it was a joke, but he never smiled. Looking back, it feels like a warning or a confession. Think about it. Discs 11 and 13 were not part of the core soundtrack. They were collectibles, optional. You had to go looking for them, hidden inside dungeons, played through a jukebox. It's a kind of design decision that only makes sense if you're hiding something in a plain sight. And what if that something was not creepy ambiance, but a roadmap, a system, a protocol? People have always said Minecraft is a creative sandbox, a blank slate, but what if it was more structured than we realized? What if it had rules, not rules we were meant to follow, but the rules designed to observe us as we broke them? Suddenly, the idea that Notch and Daniel had buried something didn't feel artistic, it felt calculated. And that led me to one final possibility, a theory that still messes with my head. Now I want to be clear, this is just a theory, but after weeks of piecing together, there is something I can't shake. What if Minecraft was never just a game? What if from the beginning it was a cultural experiment? Think about it. The open world, the endless building, the survival mechanics, the freedom of expression. It was a pure human creativity, unfiltered, like a giving children the keys to a digital sandbox and watching what they would do. Millions of players, mostly kids, pouring their imagination into procedurally generated landscapes, and all of it silently tracked by game data. What if the discs were not placed there to scare us, but to mark moments, data points, checkpoints in a timeline, audio clues disguised as horror when really they were time capsules? It sounds crazy, but look at the structure, a global map, coordinated spread, emotional manipulation through sound, even behavioral observation. The deeper I went, the more it started to feel like we weren't playing Minecraft. After months of investigation, I came up with a theory that honestly scares me. What if the coordinates, the hidden messages, the buried USB drives, what if they weren't meant for players in 2019? What if they were meant for researchers in 2029? Think about it. Minecraft will be 20 years old in 2029. An entire generation will have grown up with the game as a primary creative outlet. And when sociologists and psychologists want to study how digital environments shape human development, what if they need data? What if the coordinates point to locations where the data was preserved? What if the disks contain the key to unlock a massive longitudinal study of human creativity and digital interaction? What if Notch wasn't just making a game? What if he was making the biggest test of human creativity ever done? And what if we, every player who ever plays the block, every kid who ever built a castle, every person who ever felt proud after building something in a game, what if we were all part of it without knowing? What if disks don't contain coordinates to bury treasure, but coordinates to bury truth? The truth about who we became we enter the digital world. And so I ask, what if the real mystery isn't what's hidden in the disks? What if the real mystery is what Minecraft discovered about us? I don't know if any of those real, maybe I connected the dots too hard, maybe this is just another wild internet theory, but the more I think about it, the more I wonder, what if Disc 11 does not sound broken by accident? What if we are hearing is the sound of a mirror being held up to us? If this video made you question reality just a little, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be diving into more dark secrets behind Mojang and Minecraft. Until next time, listen closely, even silence leave a trace.